Hello, citizens of YouTube land.
Hey, I know we started this one off a little different, but and we apologize, guys, if you've well, I don't know, if you've blah, blah,
Blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah.
excuse me. If you've been paying attention to the other channel, we've made a little announcement on that one, and we know we haven't been able to drop as much lately, but things have kind of gotten away from us. But you guys sort of know how we are, that we disappear for a while and then kind of like a breath of fresh air, here we are back again, and we dropped several of them at once for you guys. And today's subject, of course, is Twister,
Yeah.
which is the end of our disaster movie month, guys. It took us a little while to get through this. We had some other things that were going on. You know how it is. It premiered May 10th, 1996. It stars Helen Hunt and Bill Pullman
It was
and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
it was directed by Jan de Bont with a budget of 88 to 92 million dollars. It grossed at the box office $495.7 million.
And another fun fact about this movie, guys, it is the very first film to have ever been released on DVD.
In the United States, yes. A sequel, Twisters, is in production and is projected for a July 2024 release.
Oh my gosh, this is new news, okay? Because we didn't know this. That is kind of ironic, I guess. But in this day and age, it's not really that surprising, is it?
No.
Let's think about it for a minute, right? We had the dreaded Ghostbusters sequel of 2016, and that was, gosh, I don't know, like 25 years since the last one before that one. Then, of course, we had around the same time frame the Independence Day sequel, which was also like 20 years later. So it's no surprise. But so Helen Hunt plays Joe. And
Yo.
let's just go from the beginning here, guys, because there is a lot to unwrap here. Oh, we're gonna try something a little different here, guys. Bear with us. Let us know if you like it. We'll try to do it.
Hold up.
We'll,
Before we get into all that, I should mention that this movie was written by Michael Crichton. If you don't know who he is, he's the guy who wrote the book Jurassic Park.
well, that makes a lot of sense in a way. Because here's the thing. Now, Twister is not really a great movie. It's okay. It's pretty good.
But Jurassic Park is a masterpiece.
But Congo, on the other hand, oh my goodness, guys. Maybe we'll cover that someday. But we're trying something a little different because YouTube has been a pain in our rear over the last several videos concerning copyright claims, guys. We've been doing what we can. And so we're going to try something a little different here. And we're going to try with still images to help describe the plot of the film. So here we go.
Unfortunately, we were doing A Night to Remember, guys, right? And it got copyright claimed. And at this point, I'm trying to recover from a cold, guys, and I didn't want to fight it, and so I just said F it and edited it out.
Yeah, but we're gonna try something a little different, like we said. So let's jump right into the story.
All right, here you go.
So it's the 1960s,
Presumably,
and they're in Oklahoma. Okay, Joe and her mom and her dad are panicking because there's a F5 tornado that's about to hit their farm.
in case if you guys don't know, an F5 tornado is like the most severe of severe that you can get when it comes to tornadoes.
We'll put up a little picture right here of the scene, and then we're going to describe what happens in the scene. Yeah. So we're going to do it like that. So the scene's here, right here. It's just a little still frame. And what's happening, guys, is that they're freaking out. because the
So
tornado's about to happen.
yeah, Joe's
So they
dad.
rush down into the storm cellar, right, guys? And little Joe's like, "Oh, we need the dog, Daddy. Can you go get the
Toby's
dog?"
still outside, and he's like, "Come on, get in here, boy." And here's the thing: her dad does something very stupid as the door is trying to come off of the cellar. He runs over there, right? He runs over there and tries to keep the door.
It's all right here, guys.
Yeah,
Can we show a little bit of that freeze frame there?
yeah, he's trying to keep it open. He's trying to keep it down. He's like, I can't hold it much longer. He's like, ah, and he like gets sucked up into the tornado. Mind you, he should have just stayed with his family because the only real danger is if the tornado had created a wind tunnel. But
So right away we're set up with this, right? Now Joe, she's like 8 years old and witnesses a tornado steal her dad from her, and so in her mind, now this is the perception that I got. Now I know it may not be the true perception, but I'm a roll with it because you guys sometimes like these little off ideas that I have. So here we go. Check it. Joe is after a particular tornado. She has grown up to become a storm chaser. But the whole reason why she chases storms is because she wants to, and bear with me here, she wants to find the tornado that made her dad sleep with the fishes.
that's impossible because
It is impossible,
because
but
you
we'll get to that, okay?
do
Because
you really think that
there's a telling moment, and we're going to get to it. We're going to get
Okay.
to it.
All right, so yeah, so it cuts to like 30 years later in the
Mhm.
year 1995 when the film was probably being filmed in, right? So yeah, it cuts to 1995 and we see Bill Paxton, who you may have seen in the previously on this channel and our last review, Titanic. He was the underwater guy who's kind of like this, to listening to Rose's story. Yeah, same dude, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. So, anyways, Bill Paxton, he is he's playing a character by the name of Bill, and he's known as the Extreme in his group of storm chaser friends. And there's one storm chaser friend that you guys really need to be aware of.
Yo,
Here,
yeah,
this is our friend.
This is our friend Dusty. He's the meth head of the group.
So you're now introduced to Dusty. Oh,
And
one other thing about him.
Immediately, as soon as he sees Belle, he's like, it's the Extreme. It's the Extreme.
So he runs over there, and it's almost like he's going to make out with him. No joke, guys. No joke. I swear it's almost like he's going to make out with him. Now, no disrespect to our gay and lesbian viewers out there. But guys, watch the movie. It's clear that he seems to have a secret, that he seems to be secretly in love with Bill.
Listen, Dusty just has a man crush on Bill, okay?
You defend
we all
it
know,
however you want.
Listen, we all know that every guy secretly has a man crush out there. So Dusty's one is Bill, okay?
I don't know about that, but we'll leave it at that. Guys, well, seriously, we really do appreciate everybody that watches us.
This was all
and
just a joke.
It's
Okay?
we're just poking fun at it because it's pretty ridiculous,
Yeah.
and it does in fact seem that way. But on the other hand, Bill has a fiance, okay, and she's played by the great Jamie Gertz, who. Those of you who may have watched a little sitcom called Still Standing, that's where you can find some of her work at as well. She's been in all kinds of movies. She's pretty great. And believe it or not, she brings an understated role here. And I want to point this out because she is new to this. All right. Bill brings her along. Okay. And this is kind of scummy of Bill. All right. But here's the thing. He brings her along because he needs Joe to sign the divorce papers because, spoiler, they were married. Also, another spoiler, Joe hasn't signed the divorce papers because, of course, wait for it.
She's still in love with Bill.
Exactly. That's why. So, he brought his fiance,
And
and
Bill may or may
guess
not
what?
be still in love with
Guess what
Joe.
Bill does with his fiance, yo? Here's what he does.
He leaves her with the meth head.
Yep, that's what he does. And so Joe's like, "You mean you left her with Dusty? Are you insane? I need to go meet her." And he's like, "No, you don't need to meet her. Just sign the papers." He's getting super impatient, and like he even says like he's like, "For Christ's sake, will you just sign the papers already?" I mean, he's pretty much done with it.
Yeah.
But as we'll see, things change. So we've gotten the big setup. Now they're gonna go, well, chase some storms. Actually, that's what
Yeah,
they're gonna go
but
do.
but beforehand they reveal a tool, an instrument called Dorothy.
Yes, and this is important too because we're missing one particular character, evil
Jonas?
science dude.
Yeah, Jonas.
I'll just refer. I like our descriptions of him, like our lead scientist dude from the Dante's Peak one.
Listen,
So-
Harry. Listen, I didn't really remember Harry's name. Okay, I'm sorry. I just called Pierce Brosnan's character Evil Science Dude.
It works
Scientist
though.
Dude.
It works because in the grand scheme of things, Jonas is pretty irrelevant. So you literally can just call him evil scientist dude, and it's pretty much the same because that's literally all Jonas is evil scientist dude who possibly has like corporate funding, and they make that seem like that's a bad thing. But here's the thing, guys. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not here to question the morality of it. But if it meant that it was going to finance a device that was going to help save people in the long run, you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, they're off to chase storms. And they got the device, and some shenanigans happen because the tornadoes just come out, and they're like, okay, we're going to throw some stuff around.
We're gonna throw a cow at you, and here's the scene to prove otherwise. That we're actually talking about a real cow. Like this is the only scene we're putting into the movie is the cow.
Well, I think everybody's about done it anyway. But so, yeah, guys. So the whole plot basically is because we can kind of sum things up from here because we pretty much already described things. Oh, there's also the aunt who, because this is kind of an important thing,
Food. Food.
they all freak out.
Food.
Every last one of them, except Joe and Bill and the fiance, all freak out over food at Joe's aunt's place. And then later on, lo and behold, a tornado comes and levels her aunt's house.
Yeah, an F4 tornado comes through and says, "Oh, hey, Joe's aunt's house. Bye."
Fortunately, oh, by the way, the aunt, because this is important too, because it's always important, because there's always this in a disaster movie. The dog lives.
No way.
Yes, way.
Yo.
So, anyways, to sum things up, Joe is on a path of revenge because she wants the tornado. And they have this big thing where Joe literally risks her neck over and over and over again, putting her life, and the lives of her crew in unnecessary danger in order to get to this tornado that was probably long gone because, as we well know, tornadoes only last a few minutes.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Except for the one in 1925, but that's
they
a whole
encounter.
different can of
Oh,
worms.
I guess we should point out the fact that they have to outrun a tornado.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so the climax of the movie, right?
Yeah.
So the climax of the movie is they're chasing an F5 tornado.
Wait. Before that,
Presumably to be the one that is.
because it is important. Before that, spoiler: Bill and Joe. If you didn't know,
They get back
they get
together.
back together.
Yep.
So go continue.
So the climax of the movie is Bill and Joe running away from this F5 tornado, right? Presumably the one that killed her father. That's the way the film sets it up, guys. We're not even joking about that part either.
Because there's also this other part where, like we said about
Where,
the spoiler, where he's
yeah,
like,
Joe is like, so
"You can't,
Joe and Bill are on this hill after a
you
massive
got
tornado
me,
just,
Joe."
yeah. So Bill and Joe are basically like after this massive tornado. Joe's like, "You've never seen it miss this house and miss that house and come after yours." And Bill's like,
Is that what you think?
"Christ, Joe, is that what you think?"
That is what she thought. So,
She was 8 when that happened. She thought that that's what actually happened.
so we continue though with the climax.
Yeah, so they're literally running away from this F5 tornado, which, might I add, is physically impossible, especially with them saying it's a mile wide F5. Like, this thing is, they are immediately in the debris zone, which is
Oh,
basically the
quick little
zone.
side note: evil scientist dude.
Oh, yeah, he gets impaled and then dies,
Yeah. So there you go.
to put it bluntly. Or should we say he gets impaled and then he gets sucked up into the tornado and then sleeps with the fishes, caused by an explosion.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there was that. Continue.
And so, mind you, they're in the zone where there's like debris, like being thrown everywhere, right? Which means they should have been sucked up into the tornado and thrown into Kansas.
So they managed to get the thing to work, and everybody's happy. It's a feel good moment, even though there's been millions and millions and millions of property damage caused by said tornado. At least next time,
At
they'll
least
have 10 seconds warning time. No, I don't know. It's actually a lot longer than that.
10
I was
minutes.
making a joke.
10 minutes.
But
It's a 10-minute warning time, but really though, we don't even have, that's not even enough, because 10 minutes could, they could have accidentally misread it and then the tornado's just like, "Ha, bye."
now we'll also say this, that the movie was based off of some real logistical science, and there is real stuff developed by NASA where they've been trying to track hurricanes and tornadoes. They still haven't completely perfected that, but they are on the right track with that. So the movie in that case is a little bit ahead of its time in the way that it portrayed storm chasers.
Yeah.
And they are very eccentric. But here's also the thing out here, guys. If for some reason we're going to do this a little bit different than we would normally do, but if you have seen Twister and you think that it would be a great idea to go storm chasing, well,
You're wrong.
you're deadly wrong. And we're going to leave it at that because that is a dumb idea. Please, please, if you ever do watch this and get the impression that it looks cool and fun, don't do it because you will only be jeopardizing yourselves and or any other idiot that decides to go with you.
Here's the thing, there are actual storm chasers who do that as a job. That is their profession. As you know, they've studied these storms for time and time again. But you know what? You never know, because you could be an amateur storm chaser chasing a tornado when all of a sudden the tornado shifts its tracks, as it's called in the movie, and then you're just like, "Oh crap, it have to turn
I'm
back
sure it's
around."
actually happened to real
Yeah,
legitimate
that's
storm chasers too.
yeah.
So
Some
we're
of them
going
have
to,
even
like I
died
said,
like
we
that.
did that a little bit differently because it is important, guys. And it's rated PG-13. You can find this movie literally anywhere and everywhere.
But here's the biggest but. If
If you have seen Twister and you believe that it is the worst tornado disaster film of all time, then clearly you have never seen
I'm just gonna
Atomic.
no, I'm gonna go with a different one. Just
Oh,
go ahead and get the joke out of the way. Sharknado.
okay. Yeah, yeah, that one works. All right,
Listen, as
guys.
much
Oh,
as a,
oh, but one other thing. Final rating 2 7/8 out of 5. What say you?
it's a 3 out of 5.
I
It's
give it.
average.
I give it 2 7/8. He gives it a 3. It's pretty close. Probably gives it about the same reason I do. The effects are very cool. The score is very cool too. Helps set up some ominous tones. The scenery is
There's
very
even
good too. It's very well directed. and the actors do all that they can. Special shout out, though, really, truly, for Philip Seymour Hoffman, who really brings a spastic energy. We know we joked about it, but he really brings a spastic energy and a certain creativity to the character of Dusty. So check that out. And, anyways, but here's the biggest drawback: the love story, y'all. It really wasn't necessary. You cut that out, you cut all of that out, spice it up with maybe a bit more disaster sequences, and you got yourself a top notch film. That's my thoughts. What say you?
For me, it's really the plot. The plot's lackluster at best, you know, because it's mostly the love story. The tornado sequences are great, you know. The actors, they do a good job, but again, it's the plot, guys. Like, it's average at best, you know. If you've seen Twister, you've pretty much seen every other disaster movie out there. Like, it's the same.
Yeah,
It's the same thing we did with San Andreas, you know. So
but again, but here's the other thing: they didn't have as big of an access to CGI back then, so a lot of it was done practical. So we give big shout outs, especially when movies rely more on the practical side than they do the CGI side. So it does have that going. But like we said, guys, pretty much an average movie. But if you're in the mood for it, hey, check it out, right? It's only an hour and a half.
yeah.
So, anyways, guys, that's it until next time. But hey, we're now in the month of March, which means two things. First and foremost, tomorrow, March 9th, it's my birthday. So I'm going to be the big 4-1, son. Happy birthday to me. Secondly, because it's March, it's the start of March of the Irish, which of course is going to be Irish crime dramas, which this time around it's going to be Goodfellas. So
Oh,
check
I
out for
thought we were
that one.
gonna be doing The Irishman first.
Okay, scratch
Yeah,
that.
because
The
we have.
Irishman.
Well, we could just watch it on Netflix and then get that done with. So
So yeah, next time it's The Irishman, probably next week, guys. But you guys know how these things go.
no,
But
well,
until
yeah.
then, we'll see you guys next time. And there's only one thing left to say, of course, and that is
Peace
peace
and
and
love
love
from
from Denny
Denny
and
and
Son.
Son.
Bye.
Bye.